learning how to add, subtract and simplify terms with variables. And don't forget to stay tuned till the end, and I'll be teaching you a trick to do addition super fast. So without further ado, let's get along with the video. Before we start adding, subtracting and simplifying, we need to know the basics first. So first, let's learn about like terms and unlike terms. Now, if you remember, we've actually worked with the words like and unlike. We've learned about like and unlike fractions before. And so we kind of have an idea of how they work. If you have forgotten or haven't seen that video, pause the video now and jump to the other video and come straight back. Let's first look at like terms. Well, what was like fractions? Remember, the denominator was the same in two or more fractions. So now we know what like kind of means. Terms, we've learned about terms also before. So terms that have the same variable? Yes, exactly. I'll share an example. 12mn and 13mn. You have noticed that both terms have the variables mn in common. So that makes things easier to add and subtract because the variables are the same and the answer will just bring down that variable. Now, unlike terms are the total opposite of like terms because they have different variables and cannot be added without knowing the value of the variables. For example, 5m and 8mn. Well, m is common for them both, but you need to multiply m by n, and there's no n here. So that means these two are unlike terms. Now, you might be wondering, why do you need to know about like and unlike fractions before adding and subtracting and simplifying? Well, we're about to find out. So the sum we have here is 3mn plus negative 5mn plus 8mn plus a negative 4mn. Now, you might have noticed that all these numbers have mn as their like term. This is going to make it so much easier because all the like terms are together and all we have to do literally is add all the numbers and just put mn because it's their variable. Now, we have to add all these together. Okay, adding all these together is going to be quite overwhelming. So, for my convenience, what I'm going to do is actually take the positive numbers and add them together and add them to the sum of the negative numbers. Let's do that. First, I'm going to pop the positive numbers. 3mn plus 8mn plus minus 5mn then plus minus 4mn. Okay, much easier. Now, what's 3mn plus 8mn? What's 3 plus 8? Easy. It's 11. So 11mn plus... Okay, now we have to add two negative numbers. If you don't remember how, I've actually taught this in detail in another video. So pause the video now and go to that video and come straight back. Now, remember when we add two negative numbers, we have to add it straight and just put the negative symbol. So 5 plus 4 is 9. So pop the minus symbol, it's going to be a minus 9mn. So we've simplified it to 11mn plus minus 9mn. Now, remember, when we have to add a positive and a negative number, we have to subtract it and put the greater number's symbol. So the greater number here is 11, which is a positive number. Now we have to subtract 11 and 9. The answer is 2. 2 and n. Yippee! We found the answer. So this time we have another sum. 5x plus 8n plus 3x. Now, things are a bit different here. Only 2 terms are like. So what do we do with this? Okay, let's do one at a time. Let's forget about this and just add these 2 numbers. So 5x plus 3x, and put this at the end, plus 8n. Now, 5 plus 3 is 8, so we've got 8x. Now, what are we supposed to do with this, the unlike term? Well, actually it's quite easy. You just have to pop it there. Now, you can't simplify this any further because these 2 are unlike terms. So what we've actually done here is we've simplified a bigger version to something smaller. Now, let's move on to subtraction. This time we have y squared minus negative 5y squared. Now, before we move on, I want to make something clear. Remember when we learned factors and I asked you the coefficient of a variable which didn't have any number? What you have to do is add a 1, because here you can see y squared. Y squared does not have any number. So if it does not have any number, you have to add a 1. You don't have to do this, but to make things easier, I advise you to put the 1 there, because this is going to make our job a lot more easier. Now let's go on to the sum. Now, remember when we learned integers that when we saw 2 negative symbols, it turned into a positive symbol? That's exactly what we're going to be doing here. So 1y squared plus 5y squared. Now this has turned to an addition question. So since both of these are like terms, all we have to do is add 1 and 5 and put the y squared down. 1 plus 5 is 6. So the answer is 6y squared. That was easy. Now, let's move on to another sum. 3a minus b plus 4 subtracted by a minus b. Now, the first thing you have to do here is actually multiply this across the brackets. This will actually make us open the brackets and it will be much easier to do. Now, I'm just going to copy it down and I'm going to multiply this together like this. 3a minus b plus 4. Now, remember, if you multiply a negative symbol to a positive number, it will change to a negative number. So it's going to be a minus a, and we've done that to this minus symbol and b, which means it's going to be the inverse of that. So it's going to be a plus b. So we've actually just simplified it to make things easier for us. Now, remember, if we add a negative and its inverse, for example, a minus 5 and a plus 5, we get 0. they cancel each other out. We don't really need the b and the minus b because both of them are going to cancel each other out and it's just going to become a 0. Strike! So now things are a bit better. Now it's 3a plus 4 minus a. Now, remember, a variable without a number. I'm going to put a 1 here to make things easier for us to add and subtract. A, which means these two numbers are like terms. So all we have to do is actually 3a minus 1a plus 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. So it's going to be 2a plus 4. Since we don't have any more like terms, we cannot simplify it, and thus this is the most simplest form or the answer. Hang on, I haven't forgotten about the trick of the day. Today we're going to be learning a trick on how to add very fast. Let's look at the sum we have here. 16 plus 9. So usually what you would have done is actually count with your fingers or do the column method. But I have a better way. Now, we know what's the easiest to add. Whatever is in the 10 timetable is pretty easy to add, isn't it? If I do 16 plus 10, it's easy, 26. If I do 16 plus 20, well, 36. And that's, I can say it like that. But what do we do when it's a 9? Actually, there's something very simple you can do. 16 plus 10 and then minus a 1. 16 plus 10 is 26. Minus 1 is 25. Isn't that easy? Let's do one more before we leave. 28 plus 29. Now, this time, remember, we have to plus a timetable of 10 and then minus 1. Now, I'm going to put 28 down plus 30 minus 1. 28 plus 30 is nothing but 58. Minus 1 is 57. That was really fast. Now, this question is for you. 45 plus 19. I bet you can't do it in 5 seconds. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For those who got the answer as 64, well done. And those who haven't, it's okay. Practice makes perfect. Better luck next time. Hope you liked the video. And make sure to like, share and subscribe to both my channels, Learning Time with Dyuti, and my other channel, Reading Time with Dyuti. I'll put the link of Reading Time with Dyuti down in the description below. Hope you're having a great time and please take care of yourselves during quarantine or lockdown wherever you are. I'll see you later. Bye!